No home is perfect, but some are more perfect than others. Some people have more privilege than others, yet many grow up in homes that are falling apart or have already gone past their breaking point. Regardless, each home has its issues. Essie Hinton was witness to this as she grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At the age of 15, after a friend of hers was beaten because of how he looked, Hinton angrily began to write the novel that would become The Outsiders. Hinton said, "I wanted to write something that dealt with what I saw kids really doing." The Outsiders, published in 1967, reflects the hardships of daily teenage life, appearances, the social hierarchy, and family troubles. The story follows Ponyboy Curtis, a 14-year-old from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and his friend Johnny Cade, told through Pony's perspective. Clashing between two social groups, the Greasers, the lower middle class, and Socs, the upper middle class, eventually results in Johnny murdering a Soc to defend Pony. The bond of brotherhood gets Pony, Johnny, and the rest of the Greaser gang through the ordeal, as well as a major fistfight between all the Greasers and Socs in town.
I was just mad about the social situation. I took the two extreme groups to write about, the Socs and the Greasers, and the Socs are the real rich kids with the Madras shirts and heat jeans. They stood around the main hall and they did such cool things like get drunk and beat each other up and steal things and have drag races. And then you had the Greasers who stood around the back parking lot and they dressed in black leather jackets and blue jeans, and they were just scummy, hoodie, terrible people who did, scummy, hoodie, terrible things like beat each other up and get drunk and steal things and have drag races.
However, many people disagree with how Hinton depicts such vivid acts of violence. A school district in Iowa in 1992, as well as a middle school in West Virginia in 2001, both reported issues with the book's violent nature. Between a murder and a rumble between the two foremost social groups in the town, The Outsiders is by no means pure. But a challenge to the book from the 1986, closer to its original published date of 1967, focused on other matters. The challenge, removing the novel from the 8th grade reading list at a school in Wisconsin, directed its attention on the use of drugs and alcohol, in addition to the prominence of broken homes in the story. Nearly all main characters in the story smoke or drink, and not a single character comes from a home without any problems.
I really don't understand, especially The Outsiders, why anybody would want to censor it. I mean, some people say, well, it's violent. I've had so many kids write me and say, I realize from reading this book how stupid violence is. I've never had a kid write me and say, I got all hopped up and went out and beat up somebody after reading your book.
In a New York Times reflection on the book 40 years after it was published, Dale Peck said, "Long credited with changing the way young adult fiction is written, Hinton's novel changed the way teenagers read as well, empowering a generation to demand stories that reflected their realities." New York Times' original review of the book by Thomas Fleming said, "She has produced a book alive with the fresh dialogue of her contemporaries, and has wound around it a story that captures, in vivid patches at least, a rather unnerving slice of teenage America."
I love it. I love it so much. And I'm so happy that the school made me read it. So I think year 10, I'm gonna say. No, year 9. I'm gonna say year 9. Yep, year 9. They were like, read this book, The Outsiders, and I was like, cool, a book to read, let's do it. I just remember loving it and thinking, oh god, I'm glad they made us read this, because you know how sometimes they make you read a book and you just finish it and you're like, really, school, is that the book you're gonna choose and force upon us? This one, so good. First of all,
one of my favorite movies and books of all time. I read this book in my English class in 7th grade, and I fell in love with the story.
Hinton's novel has amassed a small collection of awards over the several decades since its publication. 2 awards in 1967 for the New York Herald Tribune Best Teenage Books List and Chicago Tribune Book World Spring Book Festival Honor Book. 2 awards in 1975 for the Media and Methods Maxi Award and the American Library Association Best Young Adult Books, and again in 1979 winning the Massachusetts Children's Book Award.
It's just been amazing to me how this book keeps speaking to each new generation, because now parents are giving their children the book and saying, I really liked this when I was a kid, I bet you will too.
The Outsiders remains well loved for not only its realistic depiction of teenage life, but also for an allusion to a Robert Frost poem, Nothing gold can stay.
Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold, her early leaves a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down today. Nothing gold can stay.
Upon the moment long ago, one breath away.